The church or the Christians are mostly the persons or group or organization that preach even publicly. When this kind of ban is issued, it looks like there are specific targets which is assumed to be the Christians in order to silence their voices in a country where there is expression and freedom of worship. Without being told, the Lord's chosen church remains the most church that constantly preach the gospel even publicly, either on the streets, markets, roads, buses, tricycles and other avenue to reach out the sinners and the unsaved. This ban is like a direction point attack to stop the Lord's chosen church from preaching the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ in Niger State. But as the youth say and believe, and is definitely working for them, the chosen ones, that if you stand against the ways of the Lord's chosen church, the God of chosen will fight you while they hold their peace. Before I continue, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and drop your comment. Now kindly listen to the main part and the details of the story. I don't know, but Nigeria has become a country where every day we are hearing new things, and the things that we are hearing, there are no positive things. You know, we are seeing high rate of lawlessness, we are seeing high rate of impunity in the system, more especially among the leaders in Nigeria. I don't know how best to explain their actions, but what brought me here now is that it was alleged that the Governor Umaru Bago of Niger State just announced that no one can preach in public without government license. Now let's just take a look at it. Let's just pause and ponder over it. Let's try to analyze it, to understand it better. What does this mean? It means the government is now the one deciding who can preach, when to preach, and where to preach. My people, I must tell you guys, this is not regulation, it is simply separation. The Nigerian Constitution Section 38 is very clear. Every Nigerian has the right to freedom of religion, to manifest it and to propagate it, whether privately or publicly. Where in the Constitution does it say only with the government or the governor's approval can the citizens be allowed to preach or to practice their religious belief? The law of the state cannot override the law of the federal government. So the law of the federal government has not given package to this kind of implementation, to this kind of decree that this governor is trying to implement in Niger State. There is that our judiciary are somehow inactive about this matter, which I believe they will take the necessary action within their power. I think the judiciary has the right to call the Niger State governor to order, to call him to clarify the stand, the ground upon which he has made that law, upon which he enacted such a law, because it seems Bago's directive clashes directly with the highest law of the land, which is the Nigerian Constitution. In law, when such a thing happens, the state law must bow to that federal government law. Because the state is under the federal government, the state cannot override the law that is already existing in the Constitution of Nigeria. Every other law that comes must come under the Constitution of Nigeria. Yes, government can regulate for peace. If breaches incite violence or causes public disorder, security agencies can step in. That is lawful. But to say no one can preach unless you collect license from government, that sounds ridiculous. I must tell you, it sounds so ridiculous. I think that should be unconstitutional. It is like saying you cannot preach unless Abuja approves. It is depriving the citizens of the land their fundamental human rights. A fundamental right that is enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Government of Nigeria. So I thank God for the Chief Imam of FUT MENA, who has woken up, who has risen to speak against such act of the government. According to him, government cannot dictate who preach and who does not preach. To be honest with you, He is correct because once you turn right into government's permission, it is no longer freedom, it becomes control. This is very dangerous because it gives the government unchecked power to decide who can speak and who must be silenced. Who is allowed to speak and who should be silenced? Just think about it this way. Who is going to issue that license? What are the criterias? What if an imam or a pastor criticizes government policy? Will they be denied? That's not about peace anymore. That's about control. And when the government begins to control religion and expression, democracy itself is under threat. We are crying that our democracy is not under control. The democracy is not what it should be today. We are just under democracy that we don't know what it is all about. But when our rights, our freedom of expression, our freedom of association, our freedom of movement, our freedom of preaching, our freedom of religion, is being infringed, the democracy we are talking about is completely gone. Under that system there is nothing like democracy. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more. Like and comment.